Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hunt, and this is another visit to the insane asylum known as WFAN.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny fun.
And welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, and hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So this channel in particular likes to chronicle the insanity at WFAN, but nothing more crazier popped up today on the midday show. And that's a bit of a target. I mean, there's a bit of a subject here at the Hut. And, of course, you know, I'm a Mets fan. We know that the Mets are struggling terribly. We know that Juan Soto's had a rough first year. The stuff that people have said about him this first year is stuff that he didn't hear at all last year. And a lot of it's because of the uniform. It's not because of anything else. He's not getting a moment's peace here, and it continues. And this mid-morning show of Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata, who I like to call the Coconut Head, which is Brandon Tierney, and Spaz Licata, obviously because he spazzes out, he just loses his mind over nothing. And this has nothing to do with the Mets; just this how he is. I mean, don't question him. Don't question these guys. They'll hang up on you. Even if you work for WFAN, they'll hang up on you. They'd rather scream about you than have a conversation. Ask Carl Banks. Now, I guess the Spaz is on vacation today, or is off today, middle of summer. But again, you know, like I said, the Mets are struggling. We know that. There's no question about it. And Soto's put a lot of pressure on himself. He's played terribly. Well, there's been one of the weirdest takes, and probably, like, this is why this radio station I refer to as a insane asylum or a nervous hospital, or mental, or whatever you want to call it. You know, the funny farm, as the song goes. Well, Tierney, a.k.a. the Coconut Head, it's because he's bald, you know, and he's done with that. And that's, I mean, really, like I always say, you know, whatever the Mets do is wrong. Whatever the Mets do is wrong, and whenever they do it, when it's right, it's still wrong. And you get these weird kind of takes about it, just like they said that the mid-morning show that said that Pete was part of a toxic clubhouse, meaning that he was toxic too. And now you see Spaz Licata sort of backtracking it because he looks like a fool 2 years later. And they tried to run Pete out of town for 2 years. So is this going to be the new take of running Juan Soto out for the next 15 years? Let me read you from Awful Announcing. I'm so glad they did this. See, WFAN, if you don't know, because I was making fun of them, I mean, because I was critiquing them so hard here at the Hut, that they've changed the whole social media apparatus where they're going on. They have like live streaming of the mid-morning show. They put out the Rico Brogna thing, Rico Brogna shtick with Evan Roberts, and they really changed everything. And they don't put any like thing written where I can read it off the Odyssey app and off their Odyssey website. But thank God for Awful Announcing. They didn't get the memo at WFAN. Changed their whole social media based on your host. Headline: WFAN's Brandon Tierney questions Juan Soto's age. Quote: I think there's a good chance he's not 26. Well, God damn it! Now Juan Soto has to show he's got to show his identification to an insane person at WFAN. Quote: I don't think he's in his 30s. I'm not saying that. Maybe close. What is it, 29? WFAN midday host the Coconut Head would like to see a copy of Juan Soto's long-form birth certificate. I mean, this is complete total ridiculousness. And he played for the Yankees. He didn't say anything about this last year. Of course not. Because he's trying to get people to listen to his program and then looking for ratings. And, of course, you know, you really want me to talk about this? I guess he misses me. I guess they both miss me in the morning. New York Mets slugger has been the talk of the town all season long, thanks to the unbearable expectations of the 15-year, $765 million contract he signed in the offseason, spurring the New York Yankees in the process. And don't let that sort of, you know, go unnoticed that he is a Yankee fan, and he hates the Mets. And, of course, you get this sort of extra venom, this extra sort of nastiness. The high-priced Mets are in the midst of a miserable stretch, but Soto has put up the numbers to justify his price tag. However, thanks to a rough start to the season and a series of notable miscues, the four-time All-Star has found himself in the New York sports media's crosshairs all year long. The second he signed with the Mets, there's going to be a problem. If he re-signed with the Yankees, you wouldn't hear any of this. Even if he was struggling, you wouldn't hear any of this. He's been called out over his attitude, tone deafness, lack of leadership, poor play, statements of fact, and perceived contract clauses. Now it's a question of whether or not the Dominican-born superstar is telling the truth about his age. Now, I'm going to point something out. That maybe here's a coconut. So coconuts may not know this about what's going on in this country. After 9/11, the government cracked down very hard on players born outside the United States with their birth certificates. They made it very clear after 9/11 they wanted to verify the ages of people coming in and out of the country. And that's been, we haven't heard too many issues after 9/11 about a player's age for the most part. We haven't heard much of that. Tierney and co-host Spaz Licata were discussing Soto on Friday's show. I don't think Spaz was on, specifically around whether or not the Yankees are missing having him as they deal with struggles of their own. They did go to the World Series last year. Tierney, a Yankee fan, said that while the Pinstripes could use the help, he's okay if the franchise not committing to the massive contract that the Mets signed Soto for. Well, I have a tweet here from October last year, and he wanted the Yankees to sign Soto to $700 million. So he's full of shit. And it seems part of that is because he's not sure he believes Soto, who was born on October 25th, 1998, is 26. 15 years of this? Does he look 26? Does he? Asked the coconut. I shouldn't even start this. No, you want to start this. This is going to get me in trouble. But does he look 26? When you're 26, you still have a youthful glow. Does he look 26? He does to me. Yeah, but he's been in baseball for like 7+ years. Responded to Spaz was on, okay. Responded to Licata. Remember when he came in, he looked like a little bit more like a baby face. Now he's grown into his own. Okay, I can't prove it, added the coconut. Well, I don't know for sure. I think there's a good chance he's not 26, I'll say it. What's all this about? You know? All about ratings. And meanwhile, if you confront them, it's not about collects. Bullshit. Soto signed with the Washington Nationals as an international free agent in 2015 when he was still 16 and made his MLB debut in 2018 at the age of 19 years old and 207 days. Later in the program, the coconut faced pushback from callers regarding his conspiracy theory, with one pointing out that Major League Baseball has an age and identity investigation department that looks into these kinds of claims, as there have been documented cases in the past of foreign-born players changing their ages. However, the coconut, while trying to distance himself from certainty, doubled down on his presumption. Oh, Jesus Christ. And this is really just crazy. I don't even want to give you a number because it's just giving it more and more credence. By the way, I don't think he's in his 30s. I'm just saying that maybe close. Yeah, okay. This is just bullshit. This is what these two guys in particular, have done for 2 years. They lie. They've lied about the Mets for 2 years on the radio station. And what's crazy is that when you like corner them, they hang up on you. Carl Banks is the best example. They hung up on Carl Banks when Banks told them how negative they were being, and how they were fishing for negativity and going after players and just making up. And they make up stuff. We know with these two. I have a whole playlist here of stuff that they make up. These two in particular make up a lot of shit about players. And if it's a Met, they know their audience. The audience is anti-Mets. In terms of a lot of Yankee fans that listen, a lot of anti-Met fans, and there are a ton of them out there. Met fans that just want to see the team burn to the ground. They lose one game in April, burn it down. They lose a game in spring training, burn it down. Lose 2 games in a row in August, burn it all down. Fire everybody. And they know that. And this is just another example of the insanity known as WFAN. Subscribe to the Baseball Hut too.
They're coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha. To the funny fun.